what you want to do is there's a file here you can grab off of Canvas. I don't know if we've gone on the Canvas too much, but you can log on to Canvas. In Canvas, find the one that says Snap and Grid. Click on that, and there's a file that you download. Save it and open it, and it will open up kind of a template like we did yesterday. And what you're going to do is, if you look at the handout, which I also put a PDF version on here, you're going to draw the three views, top, front, side, for each one. Top, front, side, and then the last three, 7, 8, and 9, you need to figure out what the top, the front, and the side look like for each one. Now, before we do that, we need to set this up, because we're going to use something called Snap and Grid. Down here on my status bar, I have Grid mode, and I have something called Snap mode. What that allows me to do is that when I draw a line, it snaps to each one of those little grid spaces. Okay, but right now, if you look, my grid is set to 0.5, and that's a little too big. So we need to change the settings. To change the settings, you right-click, go to Snap Settings, and we want the snap size to be 0.25. When you hit the Tab key, the Y spacing changes to 0.25 because I have equal X and Y on, which is what I want. Now, technically, I could keep the grid the same size and make my snap change. Notice that my snap now is 0.25, but I think it makes more sense if we make them the same. So let's change our grid also to 0.25. Okay. Now, there's something here by default, adaptive grid is turned on. Let me show you what that is. If I zoom out, see how the grid changes? Like it's really, really small and it gets kind of big. That's called adaptive grid. I personally don't like it, so I want you to turn that off. This display grid beyond limits, let's also turn that off. Okay, so we're going to uncheck all those. Notice that my grid stops now at this thing called limits. Now to do limits, and I might show you then this again, you type in the word limits, and I want to go from this corner up to that corner, and look, it shrunk. So now, what does that do? Well, if I type in limits again, so I'm typing it in a second time, and over here I turn it on. If I try to draw a line outside of my limits, it won't let me. Like I'm clicking and I can't draw anything outside of it. But if I click inside, I can, but I can't click out of it. Right? It keeps me inside my limits. Now, why would I want to do that? Well, there's certain things that we do where we have to build it a certain size. Like they have these things called CNC machines where machine cuts and carves in the wood. They actually got one of these down at the middle school now, I think over the summer. And you can see it will actually, if I crank this up, you can see it starts to carve a pattern. You can do very detailed work. This is called a CNC machine. Change the different kind of bits on the end. It does it automatically. You see it gets pretty detailed, pretty crazy stuff. So obviously there's a certain size that this table can do. That might be one reason why you'd want to do limits. Maybe a 3D printer, right? We have a little build table. It can only do a certain size. So again, you will have to stay within a certain size. Now, once you draw that, you can kind of just use the line tool, and now you can snap and count. Each one of these blocks on your sheet is 1/4 of an inch. So I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. skip a space, go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go over, up, there. And you can see how this snap can make this very easy and fast to draw. There's the first one. Then the second one. Kind of the same idea. Down 3. Be careful. If you put them in the spacing that's on the handout, you should be able to get everything to fit. Okay? A couple things to point out here. Notice that this line is the same as this line. This line is the same length as this line. This line is the same length as this line. Okay, do you see how that works? Oh no, I'm showing you the answer. Alright, go ahead and try to do that.